Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for joining in and seeing what we've got for you today. Zeeve has recently added support for Arbitrum Orbit stack for you guys to deploy your rollup chains, your self-sovereign chains in a few clicks. And much like our many other uh, app chains that we provide support for, we've just recently added the full support for Arbitrum Orbit as well. Arbitrum Orbit, for those who are new, is a very mature stack to deploy your optimistic rollups to scale your blockchain applications with a good level of security and surety when it comes to having a fully functional blockchain application of your own. So today, what we're going to do is that we're going to quickly have a glance of the Arbitrum Orbit based chains, and you can do that by clicking to Arbitrum Orbit into our App Chains Rollup section. Um, when you come here, this is the screen that you will see automatically, where you can just go ahead and click on the deploy DevNet button. And once you click here, you'll be routed to a form, as you see here, a setup wizard, where you can select between the different offerings, whether it be a DevNet or a public testnet or a public mainnet. You can choose your options accordingly. And you can fill out the other details as well for your deployment. In DevNet, as you can see, you get to see a bit of what components are present here. A Nitro node for L3, some smart contracts, of course, which are the core part of your setup. Smart contracts deployed over your L2 and L3 both, as well as the Arbitrum Sepolia, which is your L2 node. Uh, and beyond that, you also have the Sepolia node, a Bridge UI, Block Explorer, and the DA servers for any trust mode. So this is a DevNet setup. This is a very lightweight setup with public testnet and mainnet. You will find it is more sophisticated, and you can go ahead and have those options performed here as well. So that's something that we also allow. You can choose between different configurations. We for the purpose of this demo, will stick to the one-click DevNet, where you can put down the name of your stack. So I'll just write the Orbit chain. I can give the workspace where I want to perform deployment. Choose a settlement layer. So here it's Arbitrum Sepolia, but for your mainnet setup, you can also expect that you'll have an option of Arbitrum 1 or Arbitrum Nova. And actually, you even have the option to deploy your own L2 instead of L3, where you can choose your L1 network as Ethereum. Or beyond, let's say if you have a choice of any other EVM compatible chain, you can also reach out to our support and we can help out with that deployment strategy as well. So I'm going to stick here with Arbitrum Sepolia, which is the option for the DevNet. I can choose any DA options if I want to have. Currently, we support for DevNet only on-chain one. But local DA is also supported for Validium-based setups. And beyond this, if you want to have any chain-based setup, any chain will allow you to also have a custom gas tool if you wish to have that. So Arbitrum stack supports you to have custom gas tokens. However, for that, you need to run the AnyTrust mode. So that's what we're going to choose to have AnyTrust mode with DAS setups, basically data availability committees. In DevNets, this data availability committee is fairly small, but again, for test and mainnet, you can expect that you have multiple nodes for your data availability committees run by multiple stakeholders. So I'm just going to take a token here of Zeeve, give a token symbol name. Just make this a little bit pretty. Give a pre-mine amount of how much of tokens do I want to mint. So this is a DevNet setup, and I can make benefit from having a quick minting of my tokens, so I can engage with my development procedure fairly quickly. For the sequencer, we of course have centralized sequencer, but if you wish to have some projects integrated for decentralized sequencing, we also have good partners available in this space as well. So, one thing maybe I'll just quickly highlight is that Zeeve is partnered with all of the integration providers when it comes to let's say for data availability, such as Eigen, Avail, uh, Celestia, and even the near DA, or when it comes to decentralized sequencing, such as Espresso, or with integrations like for the purpose of account abstraction, decentralized oracles, whether it be Red Switch or anybody else. Um, we have good partnership ecosystem in every vertical that is possible out there. So for test and mainnet, it comes in quite handy when you can choose third-party integration as well. But you would anyways have some native integrations which are part of your out-of-box offering, such as the native bridge, the RPC endpoint, the block explorer that we would perform the deployment with. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with the standard setup here. But again, as I mentioned, with test and mainnet, you can even have more third-party integrations, whichever are available and mature, fitting for your requirements. Clicking on deploy button is all I need to initiate the whole process, where you can make checks on infrastructure level with the right quotas met for everything. And once that is met, my infrastructure provisioning will start off, where my machines will start becoming ready, and all my infrastructure components and services will start up as well. And once that is run, the final step would be to start the blockchain provisioning. So right now I can see when I click on deploy, my requested status has become highlighted here. And it will be a little bit of time, I think about 30 minutes or so, when my setup is fully ready. But we don't have to wait for that long. We can switch over to an existing setup and show you guys how you can engage with your Arbitrum Orbit DevNets. So I'm just going to switch my screen here. So this is another account that I have for a DevNet setup. One important mention is that these DevNets are fully free for you to buy, for you to actually just engage with, actually, because you got a free trial period of about 14 days. If you wish to continue with your DevNet, you can go beyond that as well. But 14-day period is free for anybody to come in and deploy their DevNets for. Once your DevNet is fully ready, this is how it will show up on your dashboard when you can click on view button. And you'll be redirected to this screen of dashboard with all the details present of your DevNet. So you can see the Nitro node configurations with the chain ID, the child block period time, the infra provisioning time, and all the relevant details. You can see the block height of my setup currently, the healthiness status of my L3, and also I can see my config files for L2 as well as for L3 again. If I choose to download them and set up my own nodes offline as well, that is also very much possible. And then for my L2 setup, I can see the configurations which are important for me for my rollup to interact with the L2 setup. And I can also see the nodes which are part of my L3 setup again, the whole rollup stack, which is one Nitro node, one Arbitrum Sepolia node, and one Ethereum node. This is again just a DevNet setup, but this is the node terminology here, and you can choose much more, many more nodes in a HA setup if you wish to do so for testnet and mainnet as well. You can see some core addresses which are part of your setup. So the batch poster, the staker, the owner, and the rated token as well, which is the addresses where these accounts and the smart contract addresses present as. The Ethereum Sepolia, which is the L1 for your L3 setup. But again, as I mentioned, for Arbitrum, you can even have L2 setup, not necessarily L3. Any EVM compatible chain is something that you can set up your rollup upon to have your rollup to scale any underlying blockchain that you have need for. When you click on My Node section, you'll find that you can see all the deployed nodes under the stack, and you can go and open each of these nodes. Like for the Nitro node, you can see that these are my general details, my block count, my healthiness status again, my RPC details where I can copy the RPC endpoint, do my transactions onto it, see some JSON RPC methods which are enabled, and also if there are any alerts that pop up for my node will be shown here as well, according to their severity. I can also look at the other nodes if they are relevant, but For DevNet setup, Nitronode is the core component that one should have to worry about while performing the delivery. When you click on My Wallets, this screen basically gives you a consolidated view of all the wallets which are part of your setup. In the DevNet, there are 3 wallets which are primarily present here. For testnet and mainnet, you can expect that there'll be quite a few more as well that would become relevant for you to have a consolidated view of and also to manage for operational reasons. You can see the relative balances, there are 3 balances, and you can also view them on Explorers separately as well. On the smart contract section, you can look at the various smart contracts which are relevant for your setup. So the L2 contracts and L3 contracts both are listed here. This is a good way for developers to bridge the learning curve, to get a bit of understanding of how Arbitrum works under the hood. And for any troubleshooting debugging purposes, they can always come to the screen and they can drill down onto the smart contract they want to view onto that very Explorer itself. So you can see the L2 contracts and L3 contracts, and you can again open each of these contracts onto the Explorer as well by a click of a button. So here you can see I've clicked on it, and again my Explorer has opened. To bridge, so we are coming up with out-of-box setup for DevNets, but again, we do provide bridge setups for testnet mainnet setups already. If you wish to have your bridge setup, you can reach out to our team for DevNets. And testnet and mainnet, we offer it out of the box anyways. So that's for the bridge of Arbitrum, how you can transfer your native tokens between L2 and L3 easily. And beyond that, we also have support of Explorer. So we provide our out-of-box Explorer for your Arbitrum setup with Traceoc. So Traceoc is a fresh Explorer with a very fresh view, a highly customizable UI that can be created for any rollup chain. Unlike existing Explorers, this one would allow you to change and customize your user experience in a very specific manner to meet the requirements of your brand. And this highly configurable Explorer currently is able to support all the required features of the market, but we also are looking to add features such as the features which are very specific to the rollup stack itself. So separately for Arbitrum, for OP stack, for ZK Sync or Polygon CDK, we are actually adding those specialized features for your rollup stack as well. So here you can see the latest transactions. You can look at the blocks which are published. You can do your smart contract verification. You can also have access to the other APIs which are usually relevant. All of the capabilities are present here, and you can look at the accounts as well. We also have monitoring, some basic monitoring for the DevNets, where you can look at the system level monitoring of your Nitronode, everything from CPU, memory, system load, network IO, digitalization, everything is something that is pulled out here and shown. So when you're performing the transaction, these metrics do help you. And in testnet and mainnet, you'll find even more sophisticated metrics that you can play with, try to perform benchmarks or monitor your nodes on regular basis for active monitoring. All of that is possible with that test and mainnet setups, basically. And with test and mainnet setup, you would also find that we also provide blockchain monitoring. So while this is system monitoring with your general metrics, with blockchain monitoring, we capture the metrics which are very, very particular to Arbitrum Orbit nodes. So those are also caught, and you will also have the loggings enabled for your components there as well. For test and mainnet, something that we're not putting out for DevNets yet, but anyways are there, it's present for the mainnet setups. Beyond this, we also capture the alerts onto your running setup. You can view these alerts onto this panel here for the entire network, and also categorize with each and every node component. When an alert is shot here, it is based on the same metrics, whether it be your system metrics or whether it be your blockchain metrics. And once these alerts are pop up, they are given to you on this panel here, but also to your email channels and any third-party integrations like Telegram or Slack or Discord or similar MS Teams or such. We have support for all of those integrations as well. And also onto our mobile apps, so Zeeve has a mobile application support for both iOS and Android. And you can also access your monitoring and alerts on your mobile app as well. So this is a quick and easy DevNet that you can deploy and get engaged with in a couple of clicks. And the idea of this is to bridge the barrier that currently exists for developers to get in use with the terminology of the rollup stack. It can be quite unique and quite difficult to get your head around, and this is a step towards bridging that gap itself. Hope you like the product. I would like to hear all your feedback around what we can do further to improve this. What is your opinion around this? Does it help solve your problems? And if you are looking to deploy a test center mainnet, feel free to reach out to us. We are able to provide production grade, enterprise grade setups for Arbitrum Orbit rollups right away. So thanks for engaging. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us. Happy to engage you on all our social media handles, whether it be Twitter or Discord or Telegram or even LinkedIn. So thanks for dialing in and hope to hear from you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.